Okay, I'm on. So I hope that you all can find me. Oh, I made a rookie glitch. I'd like to blame it on everything else, but it was, yeah, I won't even go there. But anyway, hello and welcome. I see that you're all, I'm going to give you just a minute to find me, and then I'm going to check on with Facebook and just make sure that I'm seeing you there and that I could see your comments. And oh, hallelujah. All right. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello from India and Massachusetts. Hello from our Intuition with Precision page. Let me welcome you to this free workshop called Calm, Clear, and Spirit Led. So, we're going to have a lot of fun over the next few days. I'm just waiting for everybody to kind of find me again. We had many of you writing and you were saying, like, how do I find the live? And it's like, it was just taking me a few minutes. So I'm super excited to see you all coming back in. So, so thanks for letting me know that you can hear me and see me loud and clear. All right. So, so my free workshop, I try to do it definitely once a year for sure. Sometimes when I can, twice a year. And as our intuitive mind community, my whole team knows this about me, that if I could teach everything that I have for free, I definitely would. So for those of you who've been joining me for a long time, you know that I offer a lot of free material on YouTube and on our Facebook pages. So it's been a long time since I've been able to come on and share a workshop with you. And here's the big thing. We have a lot of new people who are joining today. So I really want to welcome you. And the other thing that I want you to know is over these next few days, you're going to get a really strong sense about what our intuitive mind community is like, what all of our students are like they're incredibly, enthusiastic and welcoming. And so I really want you to get a sense, for those of you who are new and have been with me for a while, that sense of what it's like, really feel into. There's a lot of noise in the world, but when you just really feel into what that experience may be like, to be able to have that touchstone, to have this spiritual experience today in the spiritual community and learn lots of cool things. So we are living in unprecedented times. It doesn't take a psychic intuitive to know that. It is obvious and it is in our face every single minute. And we are drenched at times. The world and the world news is drenched in uncertainty, opinions, and a lot of noise. And everywhere you turn, someone claims to have the answer. Everybody has an opinion about what's going on. And there's a crow. The crows have shown up outside my window, so that's a really good sign. So everywhere you turn, someone claims to have the answer, but here's the truth. Here's the absolute truth. The wisest voice, it's not out there somewhere, even though the crows are going to lead me to believe that that they want me to listen to them. But it's already within you, and that's what I really, my hope, dream, and desire is for you to really have an experience with that. And your inner voice and your inner intuition is just waiting for you to just tune in and say, hello, can we have a talk? And so this isn't about tuning into the chaos, although that can be really easy to do. It's about tuning back into yourself. So over these next few days, really look forward to having you join me during and to dissolve the static, realign with your inner compass, and open your own direct line to your own spirit. The world might be spinning fast, and it might even be spinning a lot faster over the next several years, but you are going to be able to stand right in the middle, steady and grounded in your light. And over these next few days, I'm going to share exactly some really simple, really easy steps where you can do that. So let me tell you a little bit about how these days are going to go. I don't know about you, but I like to kind of have an idea. So, first of all, I don't know about you, but in the past, I was a pretty serious person. I really took things felt heavy, they felt burdened. I felt really like it needed serious focus and serious attention to be able to turn things around in my own personal life. And I'm going to share my personal story, shortly. But what I have learned over these past few years is if I don't create my own light-minded, my own lightheartedness, and create some fun in my life, I'm just going to feel pretty overwhelmed. And so that's number one. We're going to create some fun over the next few days. And each day, I'm going to teach a workshop. And today is about that calm, to bring that calm, that inner peace through groundedness. We're going to really talk a little bit about anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, stressed, depressed, and how just this one really simple technique that you'll be able to implement immediately today and use for the rest of your life to help bring that inner calm, even if there's outer chaos that's going on. So, and then we're going to every day, I'm going to teach you another really simple technique. But here's the thing, we're going to add to the fun. And how we're going to add to the fun is, so after today's workshop, Kathy, my office assistant, she's going to make a post on the Intuition with Precision page and Facebook. But for those on YouTube, I don't want you to feel left out, because I'll tell you what you're going to do, what your assignment is going to be. So on the Facebook page, it'll say exercise homework for day 1, step 1. I'm going to give you a homework assignment, and you're going to go out and you're going to apply that homework assignment either in your home or maybe, outside, whatever homework assignment I'm going to give you. Then you're going to come right back to the Facebook page. You're going to find that homework post here, and then you're going to share your experience. When you share your experience, then we're going to go through, and everybody who has done the homework assignment, guess what? Your name's going to go into the pot, go into the bowl, go into the bag to enter your name in for a prize for a drawing. So we're going to have some really fun, inspirational prizes. And so we'll draw tomorrow during day 2 of the class. Then I will mention who the winner is for that price. Sorry. I don't know why she said that. Okay. So hang on a minute. So one of the things is I just got a big sign from Yvonne. She said, recording, is it being recorded? Yes. So even if you can't participate on the Facebook page, all the teachings will be on that page for about 7 days. And it's the same on YouTube. So if you have to miss one of the courses, don't worry, it's there. All right, let me go back to the prize piece. So tomorrow, I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at who did the homework assignments. I get a lot of inspiration out of that. And then we're going to mention whose name got drawn, who's going to win the prize. But here's the big prize. So before I get into the big prize, now let me go to YouTube and tell you on YouTube what you're going to do. Because you won't have this little block where you can find it, I want you to either write, homework in big bold letters, because there's over 500 of you on this page right now. If you write homework and you do the homework and then you come back and post it on the YouTube page, then we'll be able to just scan, go to the homework, write your name down, and put your name in to have your name drawn for a prize. So here's the other thing. In my Psychic Mastery 1 program, our foundational program, and I'll be telling you more about that later, but we've decided to open it up for registration. It has not been opened up for registration since, I think, January or April, somewhere around there. So we're going to have, it's already open now. The registration's open now. But the big prize is going to be, we're going to give away one full scholarship to someone. And we're going to look at all the names. And on Friday evening, we will draw that name of who wins the full scholarship for the course. And we will announce that on Saturday morning. Okay, now let's see. Oh my gosh, I forgot to also mention that one of the bonuses, if you register before Friday night, is you're going to have a private mini or a mini reading with me in small groups. So that's going to be an additional piece that you get to have. So for Loretta and Jane, who typed in homework, you want to wait till you do the homework. So then let's say you're going to do the homework, and it's like, when I did the homework that Nancy asked me, suggested that I do today, this was my experience. So just writing homework is not going to put your name in for the drawing. You will have to write your experience, but you're not even going to know what your experience is until I give you the homework assignment, which will be at the very end of my talk. Okay. All right, so in the next 3 days, we'll go over what we're calling life changer number 1, where you are going from feeling stuck to spirit led. Your intuition is powerful, but lately it may have felt fuzzy, unreliable. And in this workshop, you're going to dissolve all that energy static so you can tune into your true inner signal. You'll be able to see the bigger picture of what's really happening in life and the world and gain the clarity that you need to create more that you want. The other life changer, number 2, that you will experience over these next few days is you're going to get to master your intuitive command center, your higher self. We had over 800 people recently fill out a questionnaire that we sent out, and the number one thing that most people, other than release anxiety and stress, was they wanted to know how to communicate with their higher self. So we're gonna learn that tomorrow. And so you don't need to try harder to tap into your intuition. You just need to stabilize your energy field. You're going to learn the 3 must-know intuitive tools to cut through the noise, dissolve confusion, and check in and tune into your higher self in a matter of moments. So what is potentially the third? Thank you so much, Jenny Brochu, and on the YouTube page to just write it out and clarify what I said. I appreciate that. And then you're going to end up learning how to open a direct line to spirit, because why? You've never meant to do this alone. As a matter of fact, this next part of our journey, we just can't do it alone. It is called a unified community for a reason. We are coming together, even though it may feel to you that we are more divided than we ever have been. I don't believe that to be true. And I hope over the next few days, you personally are going to get to experience what it's like to be in a community of supportive people. And you're going to learn how to reconnect with a spirit guide that has been with you since birth and discover practical ways to receive messages and communicate with your spirit guide in everyday life so that you no longer have to feel unsure or alone during these tougher times. And then what is an additional life changer? You're going to really get to tune in and awaken your own unshakable inner power. When your energy's scattered, clarity and confidence can help illuminate things for you. And during this experience, you're going to bring your mind, your emotions, and your body into harmony with your higher self. So get ready to be spirit led, to take action and actually move forward in life. All right. So I know that many of you don't know me. You've never heard of me before. And I think that's one of my favorite things when people write, or they're like, who are you? Where did you come from? And I've never heard of you before. I consider myself kind of like that dark horse, the horse in the race where nobody saw me coming. Well, that's me. I am a retired registered nurse. I have been teaching this work for over 25 years now. But let me tell you a little bit more about my own personal down on my knees moment to really help you to really connect deeply with hopefully my story, your own story, and what's really led you here today. So, my down on my knees moment happened in 1994. So, we are about in year 31 since this happened. There I was on my knees. The door was locked to my bedroom, and tearfully, with my hands together, praying to a God that I wasn't even sure actually existed. And I asked, why do people have to die? It was my first year as a hospice nurse. It was a drastic change for me because for 16 years I had worked in cardiac intensive care. So if you've ever known your loved ones to have open heart surgery, I would have been that nurse at your loved one's bedside, or I would have been the nurse, in the operating room, but helping during that acute part of critical care. And in the intensive care, as a nurse, I was getting the patient through crisis, moving them on to another floor, getting out of the way just in time to be assigned another patient that was in crisis. While the other, as a hospice nurse, was deeply emotional. So for any of you who've had loved ones who have passed, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Deeply emotional, deeply intimate, to share such personal time with families in their final moments together. You might relate to this. I had mastered the state of detachment. I was trained to not get involved, not to get too close. I had one job to do, and that was to be a nurse. And then the phone rang, and on the other end was my best friend, my sister-in-law, who was the laughter to my seriousness, the spontaneous fun to my let's make a plan, her testing me to walk on the wild side to my intense case of responsibility. And when I saw her phone number show up on my answering machine, I immediately lit up, wondering, what in the world has she got in store for me today? Have you ever had a friend like that? And so I said, hey, Marla, what's up? There was total silence on the other line. Marla, are you there? Her voice cracked. I have something to tell you. I have cancer, and I've just been told I have less than 3 months to live. Well, my skills as a nurse, as a problem solver, went into action, assuring her that we would get through this together. She was not going to die on my watch. Emotionally, I just couldn't go there. Because why? We were going to fix this. And as those short months went by, it was clear she was going to die. And this time, coping through detachment, my default program, was not working for me anymore. Emotions flooded my system, which led to that down on my knees moment where I asked God, why do people have to die? And God didn't answer me. There was no answer. Did God even have an answer? I was asking myself. 2 days later, my fixer kicked back in. I have to cope. I have to be the strong one just for her. Inspired, I had that thought to get a meditation book. I knew nothing about meditation, but in the movies, when I saw that people meditated, they looked peaceful. I desperately needed my mind to find peace. Now, home with my meditation book wrapped in a brown paper bag. So you have to remember, this was 30 years ago. If you meditated, you most certainly didn't tell people that you meditated. So I had it wrapped in a brown paper bag. I snuck into my house. I slipped that tightly wrapped little meditation book right in behind all the other books on my bookshelf before heading into the kitchen to make my family's dinner. Late that night, after my husband and my 2 preteen kids had gone to sleep, I tiptoed back downstairs. I can still feel this so viscerally, what was happening inside of me. Have you ever had those moments? So I tipped down, I removed the book that I had so carefully hidden, and quietly, I didn't even want the paper to crinkle. I didn't want anybody to hear it. I quietly slipped it out, unwrapped it, fearing the sound just might reveal my secret. I sat on the couch. I opened the book to the first chapter. I'm a great rule follower, and I do love deadlines. And I was relieved to see there was a set of instructions. Number 1, turn off the lights. Number 2, light a candle. Number 3, close my eyes. And number 4, breathe. Now, I could do those things, okay? Simple enough. I took a few deep breaths, and after 5 minutes, I felt super strange. And I told myself, all right, close the book, blow out the candle, turn off the lights, turn off the music. That's a great start. Let's just go to bed. So within 5 minutes of slipping underneath the blanket, there was a flash of light, and I found myself standing next to my body that was laying in the bed. And then I heard the voice say, you do not die. You only release your physical body. So that question, my down on my knees moment where I asked God that question that never came, the answer never came a couple of days later. And then I could see light infusing my entire body as I heard that same voice say, you are a soul living a human existence. Nancy, will you please go out into the world and help others remember that truth? That was 30 years ago. And since then, most of you know where I'm going with this. I'm still teaching people how to remember that you are truly a soul having a human experience. I've created Intuitive Mind, a growing, fast-growing spiritual international community. I've developed my signature method, Intuition with Precision. I've guided thousands upon thousands upon thousands of students worldwide throughout year-long mastery programs, teaching you how to harness your intuition, not only so that you can spiritually awaken, but as a razor-sharp tool for real life, real decision-making, real leadership, resilience, and a lot of healing. Intuition, it isn't a spiritual extra. It's a survival skill, a leadership edge, a pathway to extraordinary outcomes that you can have in your life. And yes, it's a natural gift that you already have. So this is your time in this workshop. These are your tools. And once you learn them, nothing in life will ever be the same. And so I just want to share with you that everything that I'm going to be teaching you over these next 3 days, I have pulled directly from my foundational program, Psychic Mastery 1. And so my other students will tell you that, yeah, it's made a huge difference in their life. So let's see here. Okay, I've mentioned all that. I've mentioned this. I've mentioned that. Hang on a second. Sorry. Okay. So I want to talk, let's get into the course. And many of you want to know how long this class is going to last. So ideally, I'm trying to fit it into about an hour time frame. But if I can be really honest with you, I am not a person of few words. So I will probably go over to about an hour and a half today. So I just want to give you a heads up about that, because I really wanted to really let you know what we're going to be doing over the next few days and have time to share my story. So this calm that we're looking for in our life that you may think is unattainable. Many of us have anxiety. There's many levels of anxiety. There's many levels of stress. There's many levels of worry. But the one thing that they all share in common is that they all interfere with your ability to experience inner peace, to be able to experience enjoying your life, enjoying your relationships, enjoying your work. Did you know that it's actually possible to enjoy your work? It can be impossible when you're feeling overwhelmed with anxiety and stress and worry, that in those moments, it can feel like you are going to feel that way for the rest of your life. And guess what? I'm a registered nurse, and out of all the problems that we can have in our own physical body and our own ailments and our own illnesses, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, and depression are the easier things to fix. They're easy. It's easy energetically to fix them. So, and I'm going to lead you through an exercise to where you can start today. You don't have to wait. So there's a little story about, it was a student that I had a couple of years ago who wrote me, and I just want to make sure that, sorry. Yeah, there I am. Okay. Go into the comments. Thank you. So there was a young woman, she wrote me this email, and she said, I was born anxious. She goes, I honestly believe I came out the birth canal anxious. I remember being this nervous little child. I remember hiding behind my mother's legs. I remember grabbing onto her when maybe I was supposed to go to daycare or go to a friend's house for a play date. I remember going to school and it was so difficult, and I needed to be homeschooled eventually because I was just this constant anxiety and panic attacks. And she went a little bit more into the story than that. But here's what she said that actually blew my mind. She said, in 1 week, in learning your basic kind of grounding and present timing and present aging and being in the center of my head, she said, within that first module, because it's a 12 module program, my anxiety went away. Now, that's pretty incredible, even for me as a nurse, to think about. So, does that mean your anxiety is going to go away? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I did write her and I said, well, it can still rise and fall, but guess what? Even if their anxiety rose to the surface again in a certain situation, they would now have the tools to get a handle on it. So in this exercise, often when we have a lot of noise going on in the world, we're focused, we're worried about our kids, we're worried about our spouse, we're worried about the government, we're worried about the world, we're worried about wars. Like, I don't need to mention, we have a lot of things to worry about. But how about, just meeting the deadlines of your bills and things like that? We have enough on our plate to worry about. But when you ground, so grounding is an invisible force where you imagine with your imagination, or you pretend, I'm going to guide you through this, where you really ground your energy field to the center of the earth. Now, what happens is when you're stressed, your aura it can be out 30 feet. It can be out 200 feet. It's like you're so stressed, your aura is so full of stress and anxiety. And when you ground, it brings your aura in, and all that overwhelm goes right down your grounding, and you can feel that inner calm and that inner peace. But I am going to mention something else that we're going to do in this guided teaching. Did you know that when you're worried about the future, did you know that all of your energy goes into the future? And did you know that when all of your energy goes into the future, your body feels anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, can't settle down, can feel panicky? So in this guided teaching, I'm going to just take you through the exercise to pull all your energy out of our worry-filled future. We're going to bring it back to the present moment. Now, another thing, a little tip that's easy to do and correct is, how many of you think about the past? How many of you think, if that situation had just been handled right, if I had just been treated better as a child, if my parents had just understood me, if my boyfriend or girlfriend hadn't betrayed me by having an affair with somebody else, if I, and you're revisiting those moments in the past, all of your energy frequency goes way back in the past. And guess what? You feel overwhelmed and depressed. So that teaching I just shared with you is magic. You bring all of your energy out of the past into this present moment. Your depression starts to decrease immediately. If you bring all your energy out of the future into this present moment, you feel your anxiety starts to calm. And if you're like me, who just like, let me just go to the past and let me just go to the future, and I'm just going to put all my energy everywhere else but on me, yeah, that's called a mess. It's called a mess. I don't know how many of you are a mess, but I've been right there with you in good company. All right. So meditation. So meditation means to self-reflect. How many of you always thought that meditation meant quiet the mind, quiet the mind, quiet the mind? I most certainly thought that's how meditation worked. But did you know that there's hundreds, potentially thousands of different types of meditation? So the type of meditation I teach, I call it intuitive meditation. And why? Because I'm going to have you tap into your ability to sense with your own intuitive navigation system what's going on inside of you. Okay. So let's go. Let's have a little bit of an experience about day 1, step 1 of the Calm, Clear, Spirit-Led workshop. Let's bring in some calm. So go ahead and close your eyes and turn within. And what does that mean? Pull your attention from your outer world. Be selfish. Me, me, me. This is my time for me and only me in this moment. You just bring all your bits, your light right inside of you. The other thing you're going to learn about me as your teacher and you as my student is we're going to love on those bodies of yours. So right now, just talk to your body. It's like, I know you've been feeling stressed. I know life has us threadbare, but today I'm going to support you today in this moment. Will you let me? Ask your body, will you let me support you today through this guided teaching and meditation? Nice. For those of you who can feel, I call it that intuitive sense, can you feel just by acknowledging your body, it starts to calm down? Maybe you can hear like this, you can kind of hear that calm. Maybe you can see a sense of color change that's a calmer color or a knowingness. So before we go further, set your intention. If there's any of my energy, my essence, hanging out in the past, trying to figure out what went wrong, what could have gone wrong, what I could have done better or right, or I'm blaming somebody for my misery. It's like, just rein it in, just pull it all out of the past to just snuggle in and be right there with you in the present moment. You're going to remind yourself today's date is October 22nd, 2025. And if you're listening to the replay a week from now, state whatever date you're watching the replay. The past is done. We can't change the past from the present. There you go. I can see you all just bringing it all to where you are now. You don't even need to know where your essence is. There you go. That's a good start. Now, set your intention. If there's any part of me that is trying to move my essence, my spirit into the future to try to figure out what's going to be happening tomorrow, next week, next year, 10 years from now, if there's any of my essence that is just trying to grab hold of anything that's going to give me some peace in this present moment, you're going to need to pull all your energy out of the future, because your answer, it just isn't there. Our future is changing so rapidly. The only thing you have solid power over is where you are now. So remind yourself what today's date is in this present moment. There you go. Much better. So remember, as you bring yourself back out of the future, your anxiety can really start to level out. Now, I'm going to teach you another really quick, simple tip. Do this every day. Sometimes I do it 5, 10 times a day. Remind yourself of how old you are. So right now, just ask yourself, how old am I? And if it's any other age than what you truly are, then just remind yourself, nope, I'm not 3 years old. You know, I'm 55, I'm 70, I'm 36. I have a lot of years of maturity to handle life. But if your energy field believes it's 3, you're going to feel overwhelmed. So right now, remind yourself of how old you are. Now, say hello to your higher self. I'm going to talk more about your higher self in our workshop together tomorrow. Say hello to your higher self, your higher wise self that has your back. Ask your higher self to help you to have an experience today so that you know something is happening. Something is really happening for you energetically that is supportive to your body. Wow, saying hello to your spirit, I just could feel an incredible shift just by saying hello to your higher self. Now, your higher self lies and depends upon your imagination. So, imagination is not a distraction. Imagination is not an avoidance. Imagination is a spiritual ability, a very high spiritual ability, so that your higher self can work with your imagination to communicate to you and for you and your body to communicate with your spirit. So, are you all ready to play? The first thing you're going to imagine is I desire inner calm. I desire inner peace, inner authority and sovereignty and strength and confidence. So then ask your higher self, share with me an image or a feeling or a knowing of what can be a really grounded force that's unique to me and nobody else right now. Now, most people love to use a tree with a lot of roots. But have you ever grounded with playful otters? Have you ever grounded with an Amazon jungle waterfall? Have you ever grounded with elephants or lions or maybe a steel beam or a school of fish? Now, this is what's called playful imagination. So let's take 1 minute of quiet as you tune in and get a sense of what you want to imagine and playfully know as a source of grounding for you. I see that Stephanie is going to use butterflies. All right. Now you're going to imagine whatever is your source of grounding, playful, imaginative, but do not underestimate its strength. And it's going to settle. It's going to settle around the area of your hips. And then you're just going to imagine just gently passing through the seat of the chair and the floor of the room that you're in. There you go. Let it pull right through the foundation of the building that you're in, right through the earth's crust. And then gravity begins to invite from the earth. Gravity begins to invite your grounding system to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the earth. And then once you're at the center of the earth, allow another image to come and really wrap around the magnetic core or really anchor into the center of the earth. Go a little deeper and deeper. And this is where your grounding helps stabilize your emotions. So kind of feel into your emotions and just let your grounding go deeper, more stable, and then feel into your physical body, adding stability and balance and harmony to your physical body, and then also to your mind that can be so busy. Just let that grounding just stabilize your mind. And your grounding not only brings stability, but it also brings the ability to let go and to release and let any of those stressors overwhelm, drain right down your grounding. And Mother Earth will accept it to be recycled into usable energy again. Release, release all stress. Just release it right down your grounding. And then let's bring in some cosmic gold frequency. Just allow the light to come from the cosmos, to come from the Creator, to come from the highest source of wisdom. Allow a gold frequency of cosmic energy just to flow through your auric field and just rinse out any of old past, old future, and current stressors, and let it just rinse and wash right down your grounding. A little bit more, just dump a little bit more. Let it go. Just let it go right down your grounding so that more of your own soul's light can come into your body, bringing that calm and that peace. Beautiful. Thank your body, thank your spirit, thank this incredible international community for all the ways that you've come together to support each other. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I always suggest to look around the room to reorient yourself, because your vibration frequency is different. And stretch your body, let your body move. You might want to take a sip of water. So I do have a guest on today, and I wanted her to come on and just share her story with you about how she was able to find her inner calm. And some of you may know her, but she is Kathy. She is our office manager, but she will tell you that she really loved the techniques, and that's how she came to work with us. So let me just bring Kathy on. Hi, Kathy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Thank you for joining us today and sharing with everyone your story.
Oh, thanks for having me. I do work for Intuitive Mind, but I do that because of my passion for the work that Nancy and Yvonne have been doing over many years. And I was just talking to some students the other day, and I said, if people could only see in my mind and watch the movie of where I was before I started this work and where I am now, you would really get it. You would get what this program and these techniques can do for you.
Yeah, and you took the classes. I know, and I'm not even sure what inspired you to take the class, but if I remember correctly, you knew you just couldn't continue to live the way that you were living.
Yeah, of course, I didn't, you know, like Nancy said, 20, 30 years ago, this kind of stuff wasn't talked about. So I didn't even really know anything. I thought living with anxiety and fear was just normal. It was normal for me. I was one of those people that was born this way. And I operated in the world in a very limiting capacity because I didn't know any different. I had great coping skills. I could convince people to do stuff for me so I didn't have to interact with people. If I needed to drive somewhere, I had to have someone show me how to get there because I would just be so filled with the anxiety and fear. It's like, oh my God, what if I got lost? I might die, or, it was that kind of fear and anxiety. So it's really hard to, I'm sure there are people out there listening that also live that way, and those people are going to know what that's like. And Nancy invited me to a meditation class one day, and it was like, okay, this is, enough to be curious. And I did it, and I felt just a little bit better. And then I did it again, and I felt a little bit better. And so I just kept getting that nudge to keep moving forward. And instead of those days where things would go wrong, and, I would go down those rabbit holes where any little thing that would go wrong, everything was going to fall apart. Everything, I was going to die. I was going to lose my house. My children wouldn't function. My husband, it was just, everything was going to be a hot mess. And that's how I viewed the world. It was like going to that deep, dark abyss. That's the place that I would go. But once I started meditating, I could go there for shorter periods of time, and shorter periods and shorter periods, until I actually rose up out of that. And when things went wrong, I would ground, I would center myself. I would talk to my spirit and let them show me what was really happening, until I could really fully step out of that and see that I wasn't going to die. Maybe the water heater broke, right? It was fixable. It wasn't really that big of a deal. But when you live with that fear and anxiety within inside of yourself, and you might not even know where it comes from, you just can't see that. And so really, the tools that I learned through the Intuitive Mind programs, I was talking to some other students the other day, and, they talk about it really being life changing. But for me, it was life giving. It didn't just change my life. It allowed me to live my life. I was no longer strapped by the anxiety and fear. I could actually engage in life and be a part of it, and instead of life happening to me. And so I am pretty grateful for Intuitive Mind, and that's why I sit behind the desk and champion everybody else. All the other students, I do the happy dance, I clap, and I have to keep saying it because it is my job, but it's my passion, it's my calling also, to support other people who might be struggling, not just with anxiety or fear, but struggling in other ways. And the program really teaches you how to take those tools in your life and look at everything in a different way. And to me, there's just no gratitude that I can express.
Well, I just wanted to, just before we go off and finish up this teaching call, so where we are in life and in the world right now, it is definitely very high level. It can be very high level stressful, especially for sensitive people like you. And so now, if you're talking about how are you able to handle those stressors today? How is it different than it was before?
Oh,
Because there's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah, it's totally, totally different. I no matter, let's see, okay. So an example can be, if whatever I'm watching on the news So, and I try not to ever watch it because it just, it really gets to me. But if I watch it, I can just really ground myself and center myself, and I can look at it from that spiritual perspective instead of jumping in with the emotions, right? So you're not just all triggered by, oh my God, that's so horrible. It's like, okay, let me look at this from the spiritual perspective and see what spirit has to say about that. And then I look at it from that. If my car broke down on the side of the road, I would just take my cell phone out, ground, center myself. I might shower my car with gold and give it a healing as I'm sitting there waiting for the tow truck to come. And I definitely drive places. Let me tell you, GPS is a miracle. I will say that. But
And intuitive GPS.
intuitive GPS, yes. I don't go anywhere. I don't have that fear that I'm going to get lost. I drive places by myself, like far away, right? And I had never done that before. And so I just tap into the tools every day to help me deal with whatever's going on, whatever upsets there are.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, let me see what tool I can use to help me see this from a different place. And then, it's just totally, totally a way of living life, right?
Yeah. And so I will just thank you again for joining. But Kathy she just slowly entered into different things. But I remember we were walking together, just standing on land for those who are sensitive, and she just collapsed. That she could feel the grief in the land. So we do know what it's like for those who are sensitive, but now you've got the grounding, which they learned today, bringing things in the present moment, reminding yourself where you are now. You only have the power over what's happening in this moment. But Kathy came in, started volunteering for us, and she's been with us a long time. I don't know what we would do without you, but thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Oh, you are welcome. And everybody enjoy the next couple days. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. Bye-bye. All right. So I love this comments. Brenda, staying in reality, staying in the present moment. Thank you, Sandra Goldenlight. I had an absolutely beautiful meditation and the grounding with a pod of dolphins. And then the magic took off from there. And witnessing the pain in the world can be really, really, really tough. And so I haven't given the homework assignment yet, but I am going to give the homework assignment now. I was just looking on Facebook in the comment, which was Sophia. I did just get your questions. So let me go over this just one more time. The next 2 days, so tomorrow at the same time, Friday at the same time, we've done a soft opening. We've opened the doors for registration. It hasn't been opened for almost a year now. We only take in students every so often, once or twice a year. And for early registration, you're going to get to be involved. I don't do readings anymore, but I have agreed with my team that we're going to have small groups where you will be having readings with me. So you register before Friday evening. And remember on the YouTube channel, so what's the homework assignment? Your homework assignment is to ground in your home. So right now, there's no excuse to do the homework because you just had a grounding meditation. You're going to write in homework, what did your grounding meditation feel like to you right now? What we just did, like mentioning, grounding with dolphins and things like that. But let's take it a bit further. You're going to go out and about today. Maybe you go to the grocery store, ground in the grocery store, ground yourself in the car. You're going to the friend's house, ground yourself there. You're going to work, ground yourself there. How is the grounding different in different places? Because the more you practice it, the more you make it real for your body. So that's the homework assignment. Ground in more than one place, and then come back and post it here. And yeah, and we'll announce who wins the first prize tomorrow, Friday night, Saturday morning. We'll mention the scholarship. All right, I think I've covered all my bases for now. Look forward to tomorrow. You're going to learn how to communicate with your higher self. So that'll be super exciting. So thank you again, everyone, for joining me on YouTube Live and on Facebook Live. Remember, these recordings will be left up for those who are watching the replay. All right. Thanks, everyone.